Hello, this is Thomas the Tank Collection video number 20. Do you know the Thomas the Tank that I have up on the turntable there? Have you seen one of these before? Do you know it's got like a little secret feature hidden away inside? If I touch the certain spot on this Thomas, guess what's going to happen? It's going to make a very nice little sound. Did you hear that? Chugga 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 chugga! To give you a sense of scale, I might be very prudent to add a Thomas, wooden railway Thomas, in next to this quite large wooden Thomas. And there you go, you got a good perception of how large it really is. This very large wooden Thomas came in through the charity shop. It was a very nice find, I thought, because I haven't seen one of these before. And you're probably wondering, is it a real Thomas? Let's take a look at the copyright. Ghislaine Thomas Limited 2008, and 2008 was some time ago now. There's also those numbers there, but I have no idea what it means. It's a very nice looking Thomas. In a sense, it's very much a classic looking Thomas. It's got a face very similar to what you would have seen on the paper-faced Erdls. It's a bit of an older style thing. 2008 was obviously a very good year for Thomas. Initially, I thought it was like a puzzle toy, the pieces puzzled together. But let me just get a little tool and come along and I'll undo there and we'll see part of the inside. Okay, hopefully I've got that screw out totally. If I stand it up again, oh, there goes the screw at the bottom. This piece comes off. It's a bit of a dowel attachment at the back there. It's very, very nice, isn't it? And there, the dome comes off there. That's the thing that activates this sound piece right here. There you go, right? The secrets are revealed. But it's got a bit of a Thomas mystery, this Thomas here. I can't see anywhere on this where it shows me who made this toy, the toy company behind this beautiful Thomas. It's the only one of these that I've got, and I have looked very carefully all around this toy. There is not a sign of manufacturer, apart from the fact it's got licensing there and those numbers there, but nowhere on this beautiful toy, which doesn't look like it's had that much play, can I see anything to do with who made it, and that is a Thomas mystery. I know my audience love Thomas mysteries, and I dare say they are going to answer the question of who is the company behind this Thomas. It is a bit tricky to put together because you do that and you put the dowel back in like that, and then you get the screw in underneath there. Don't worry, boys and girls, Thomas is back together. It is a very nice model, a very nice Thomas model indeed. Our next Thomas is a classic Thomas. This is the fourth one of these that I've got. This is the 1996 Tomy Big Thomas. These things go for all sorts of different prices, but I picked this up for next to nothing because it came in through the charity shop. Looking, just see how big it is because I've got a wooden Thomas there. I've got it so the wheels set for turning. One of my lovely audience people said that's what that there is, it locks the wheels. It's some strange designs in this, but there's also some very nice things as well. That's the whistle. Okay, that piece there, the funnel is often missing as it is in this one. The people have taped the face here. For some reason I can't raise the face up, but you can turn the eyes by twisting the funnel bit there. It's missing, as you can see, bits and bobs here, the buffers on the front, which are like the doors. It has got the hallmarks of what goes wrong with these toys, in the sense the hinges here are broken because the plastic gets very brittle. Okay, there's a lot of Thomas love on this toy. There's bits of texture markings and things that you'll often see from children, but I think the place I like to look for wear and tear on these toys is underneath, and that will give you an idea of what this toy has been through, and there's bits falling off. Strangely enough, it is actually quite clean underneath. Oh, crikey, Thomas, sorry for putting you on your side like that. The other part that I see that goes wrong with these toys is these decals here. They're very thick set decals. I will start to lose their colour, and that's just started on this one. You can see the cold bunker's got some dust on it, but you can easily clean these up. I like to show these as I get them. I think that gives a bit more of a rustic feel. It's got that there, and you can open it up, and you can see that the toy's got a fair bit of dust going on inside there. I always think this is a very important Thomas to have. If you're a bit of a Thomas fan, you want the sort of classic Thomas in your collection. Don't get caught up with the prices you see on eBay. Sure, I paid a bit of money for a very nice one, but the other three that I've got, I picked up for next to nothing, so it's really important to get this sort of Thomas at the right price. Oh, this next Thomas toy, it's one that I actually purchased on eBay, and I'm going to spin it around slowly here. I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for it. Maybe you can tell me how much you would pay for one of these. I only had an advantage on picking this up because it was a local pickup type sale, and I saw this and I sort of pounced on it. It's not often you'll see a toy like this as a local pickup, and being local pickup only, It basically locked out the rest of the world from snatching this from me. It is in really good condition, although I don't know whether it's got parts missing. I'm sure my audience will be able to tell me that. I can see Bulstrode down there. I can see Percy at the station there. And if I keep spinning around here, we'll clock around to Thomas there on the turntable. This Bluebird playset completely oozes Thomas and Friends Sodor Island feel like you just do not see in the Thomas toys of today. It's a sort of little toy that you want to get in there and run Thomas down the hill here. And I'm sure you could put Percy there and have a crash if you wanted to. It has got just stunning little bits of detail that, sadly, toys of today just seem to always lack. I think there's a couple of puzzling things to this toy. Now that I get a good close look at one with all the parts here, I wonder why the crane here at the docks isn't cranky. Bulstrode is a beautiful little Bulstrode indeed, a little tiny face on it, very cute. And it would be a shame just to look at this toy very quickly, because I really think it needs a dedicated review, and I've really got to get my head around if I've got the whole toy here. I was really after it because it seemed like it had Thomas in really good nick, so let's take a look at the toy trains. I like to do this as an infamous in-hand appraisal here. Of course, here is Percy. Look at the detailing there of the rods and the wheels and stuff, little steps there. I mean, it is just awesome. It's got the white running board. It's got the details there that are often lacking in the toys of today. There is the face. It looks like Percy's face, doesn't it, hey? I hope Mattel watching this video. I really do. There, look at that. There's the wheel set underneath there. That is so can track into the very different sort of track that the little playset has got. It looks like they coupled on this one. That's why I think there's parts missing. The fact that maybe there are carriages of these sets, maybe you can explain it to me. Of course, we'll take a look at Thomas next. And really, I was after a playset which had the characters here in pretty good nick, particularly Thomas, because it was a Thomas that I really wanted to get hold of. Okay, yeah, it's really nice. Thomas's face is also very nice. I mean, it just ticks all the Thomas and Friends boxes, doesn't it? And I think a very good comparison to do here. And then you start to see how much smaller and cuter that Thomas there is versus the Thomas Mini. Now, wouldn't it be nice? Imagine if Mattel had rendered the Thomas Minis looking more like that there. Okay, but that's what we got in the end, isn't it? That's a special one there because it's a flaming Thomas. But if only we got more of a classic train feel instead of the more generic feel that a lot of the Minis seem to have. And one thing you hear about people when they do talk about Thomas Minis is a lot of the characters seem sort of same-ish. And in a funny way, Trackmaster 2 has fallen the same way. But hey, this is really an insight into how good it used to be. The question is, will we ever go back there? I mean, smackaroonie, hey. It was great meeting the lady who sold this to me because I got the background story of how this playset ended up in Australia, and often the back stories of toys can be more interesting than the toy itself. It was really nice to have a chat to this lady, and she was really pleased that it was going to someone who was a Thomas collector. Yeah, like I said, the eBay sale has a bit more of a story to it, and I think that playset there deserves a standalone video. Well, we are really digging into the classic Thomas toys in this episode, aren't we? Some more Golden Bear goodness. Okay, the first one, it's a Golden Bear Thomas. It's a 1995 era. It's something about the 90s of the Thomas toys. It's when it was all classic, isn't it? These toys are unusual in a way for the fact they are lacking in so many details. They've got a good shape, but there's something about the way that they've been rendered which leaves them very sort of plain and basic. Well, mind you never hear people really complain about them. I think one of the most important aspects of Thomas is his face, and these have got very good faces in a sense, and Thomas is looking down in this one. I'm not sure if all the Thomases are like that. Where they will go wrong, and I've seen them go wrong, is sometimes the tyres will have splits in them. Although this one looks like it's in pretty good nick. In fact, it doesn't look like it's had much play apart from it's been running in some brown paint. That's underneath there. Okay, they do couple up the things. They do have their own little track system. But the Golden Bear Thomas is something that I've seen come through many, many times. And the next one, as you can see, it's Gordon with Tender, and to me, this thing looks like it's had no play. This is how it came to me. It was bundled together like this, so I haven't been able to look at the date exactly yet. So here we are underneath Gordon. There's the licensing date, 2001. That was a long time ago, sadly. Look at the wheels here. This toy, from what I can see, has had no play. I can't see any carpet or anything wrapped around the axles. And I think to myself, when I see this, I've got to ask myself why. Okay, there's not really many scuff marks on this, and there's no dings and dongs on this toy. Often you'll see these toys have been run around, there'll be little marks on them. Even the face is in remarkably good condition and clean, okay? So it's one of the cleanest golden bears that I've seen come through. That's the way they couple together like such, okay? And even the tender, we should look at the tender as well, is in remarkable condition. Look at the condition of those tyres there. Completely stunning. Man, if you're a Gordon collector, you would be in absolute heaven right now for the state of this Gordon. Just before I leave these beautiful Golden Bear Thomas toys, there's something I've noticed about them, especially when they've had a bit of play, and something you may relate to. The Thomas here, if I move it, I might have to be quiet, will squeak in the wheel axle area. Listen. Okay, we heard it on the first go. It is a squeaker, okay, but what I've noticed with the Gordon here, this toy, I can't get it to do any squeakiness, okay? It's really clean, so I've got a funny feeling this Gordon here has had very little play. In fact, I think it's had zero. Crikeys, the classic Thomas toys just keep oozing out, don't they? Here are some more toys, and these were during 2016. This video has been made right up the end of that year. In the charity shop, if you walked into the shop, this is the way they bundle toys up and put them in a bag, and that is the price of that toy there. Now, the funny thing about this toy here was it was actually up on the shelf and nobody really recognised it as a Thomas and Friends toy. As soon as I saw it, I knew what this is. This is the second one of these that I've got. Do you know exactly what that one is? I'll come and unbag this. I have looked underneath. It is Tomy 1997. Oh, the 90s again, hey? Oh, here it comes. Yeah. It is the Fat Controllers Car. Look who's popped up, the Fat Controller. These were really robust, rugged little toys. There's a ton of play in this still, though it will get jammed up. And that was the thing I noticed at the charity shop, was they just had it like that. In a sense, the Fat Controller was stuck down there, and it isn't that obvious exactly what this car is. For the fact that it's yellow, I believe that's just a manufacturing quirk that some toy makers did. I think Golden Bear also did a yellow Fat Controllers Car. Maybe you can correct me on that. Oh, it's just popped up. He's very infrequent, isn't he? It's got traction tyres on the wheels here. Okay, but the tyres are looking a little bit tired. Sorry for the pun. That is the licensing there, because I wouldn't have showed it before because it's in the bag. 1997. Tomy, lovely to see, isn't it? And really, the condition of this car, I think it's in pretty good nick, even though it does get caught down. Well, not going to get it then. He does get caught down. I should actually bring in the other one, because you're probably thinking, oh, Leo's just reaching into the box and getting out the Fat Controllers Car again. No, there it is. That's the one we just unbagged, unboxed, and that's the one we've taken a look at in a previous collecting video. And now I've got the luxury of two of these to look at. In fact, this other one here, the first one that I had, it's got a cream grille. In fact, all the white on that one there is actually cream. It's not sun affected because it's the same colour cream all over. Yet the new one here, it's white. I'd say I'll call it an off-white. I wouldn't call it like a clear white. But I'd say the windshield on that one's in better nick, and also the dress of the Fat Controller, whereas this one here, the first one I had, it looks like it's been sun affected, and it looks a bit ratty there. Just taking a look underneath that first Fat Controllers Car, it's also 1997, so there's a Thomas and Friends mystery for you. Both 1997 Tomy toys, but we can see there is colour differences going on between those two toys. And the next Thomas toy, you're probably thinking, wow, it looks like a bit of a classic. Look at it, it looks all old and battered and a lot of Thomas love. It's actually a 2009 Mattel Thomas, and it's one of those ones where you push the... and it's had better days, as you can see. But hey, I don't mind. It's had the Thomas love. It's sun affected. It's lost its colour. Its stickers have been affected as well. It's probably been in a pool or something, and the Thomas face is looking a little bit yellow. I'm actually really pleased when I see a toy come through and it's had the love, and you can see that it's had, you know, fun with someone. It really disturbs me when they come through and they're like mint in box and they've come from a home. I don't care what condition they are, they all go into my Thomas collection. I'm proud of every one. And this is really a toy which is still current today. I still see it in the shops. It does have a traction tyre there. Okay, but whenever I see this toy, I always think of the Tomy version that I'm pretty sure that this toy is based off. And maybe because I have played with it, it will work for us now. Go, Thomas, go. This next Thomas from the charity shop, it's one that I've got many of already in all different states of disrepair and repair. It is a classic Thomas in a sense, in a classic era. It's the Tomy 2004. I'd call it a pullback model in a sense, made in Vietnam. If I pull its wheels like that, I'll get Thomas's little face and his eyes to do that. It's got a charm that toys of today are quite often lacking. I've seen lots of these. I've seen that they can take a lot of punishment, and often they are still working. Occasionally they come through, they're not working, but it's always a nice Thomas to have in my Thomas collection, if Thomas looks at us. Go, Thomas, go! Okay, the last items reside inside this bag here. I paid $4 for these. I think it was at a garage sale. I was just going through the stuff and I noticed some Thomas and Friends gear. Let's take a look. Oh, Thomas Minis coming through in the second-hand bags already. Didn't take very long, did it? And I dare say there'll be lots more of those coming along in years to come. Check out Thomas's. They would be 2007 era. In Australia, these things used to assault you at the checkouts. Mind you, there's Percy and 2 Edwards there. We're taking a look at those toys many times in these collection videos, but this one here, I believe this is the first one of these that it's come through on me. It's a 2009 Mattel toy. I'm pretty sure it's a bath time toy. This one, it's Bulstrode. It's quite a nice version of Bulstrode. There's a little button in the back here. I believe you pull that back and there's actually an impeller in there that would propel water and push it along. There is the date there. Underneath Bulstrode, 2009 Mattel, blah blah. And also I believe the bath time Squirter Thomas, I hope I'm right here, I believe that came as a set like that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I've seen it installed like that. That's a really nice find. This part here, I'm pretty sure that comes off, and I think you put water in there and it can dribble out. You can, drench Thomas if you want. It's a sort of toy that sort of oozes. You want to play with it. There's a nice close look at Bulstrode's face. You can tell me if it's right or wrong. It looks funny, doesn't it? Mind you, the little Bluebell set had a funny Bulstrode face. I like it. It's a sort of toy, if you're in the bath, you would be playing with this for hours, and the fact that Thomas has got a squirter up his funnel there, I know that is lovely for lizards. I've done videos about that before. But it's sort of strange because sometimes Mattel makes some very, very, very nice looking Thomas and Friends toys that sort of ooze that look that you want to play with them. Those checkout Thomas toys have been like a constant, what would you call it, like chatter in the background of these collection videos, haven't they? How many times have these come through? Look at Percy's face here. That toy looks possessed. It looks like a Chucky Percy. That was sort of what was a little bit strange about those toys. You sort of got the misfit ones like that. I mean, to me, that's a great Percy collectible with a Chucky face. I don't really need to say much more about those, but I think with the joy of this Bulstrode here, with the Thomas, maybe a very worthwhile thing to do is to take a look at the Bulstrode, and almost going back to the beginning of this video, from the Bluebell set there, and I've just thrown Thomas in there as well, and maybe that is a very, very nice rendition of Bulstrode, isn't it? Hey, what do you think? And if I pull back very carefully here without anything toppling over, you can tell me which Bulstrode do you prefer. I know which one you're going to pick. I can tell you which one I like the most, and let me tell you, that one right there. Always a lesson when you take a look at the Thomas toys from yesteryear, isn't there? And before I go, I'd like to show you something which has been up the back of this video, ticking away like a little time bomb. Warning, the end part of this video contains graphic footage of extremely deadly spiders. Well, down there is Thomas the Tank, as you've probably never seen him before, unless you've been watching my spider videos. Over the back there is a Caterpillar truck toy. But in the foreground is basically hundreds and hundreds of deadly redback spiders, and a lot of people are asking me, Leo, when are the egg sacs going to open up? Well, I'm giving a bit of a preview of what's going on in this tank. Well, one thing I've learnt in the last couple of weeks is the redback spiders are prolific at multiplying. They'll certainly put rabbits to shame when it comes to numbers. And most worryingly, they basically kill anything that comes in their path, even one of their own. The spider tank has been fascinating, and it's also consumed a lot of my time. Now listen very carefully. I have not made many toy review videos at all at the end of 2016. I've got a lot of catching up to do. I'm hoping to go back to a classic look in 2017 without saying too much more. I better leave this video here because attention span data on my channel has been shocking, and I've got to try and arrest that and get it into better figures to try and save my channel. Sorry for pulling the video up here, but I've got to. As always, thanks for watching, and bye for now. Just as a bit of an end note to this video, once we've said goodbye, I'm actually getting very close to making a Five Nights at Freddy Dark Side video. Now, it's become so desperate in the sale of these toys, you'll get toys like this, which aren't even in their packaging, and they'll sell them as a group for $20. That's $20 on that critter there. If I had my son here, I could tell you who that is. Is it Bonnie? Am I totally wrong? I think that's Foxy, Freddy, Golden Freddy, I hope, that one there. And is that Chica? I've got to get to know these guys. And there's just a horrible odour from those toys there. I can't wait to get in and start to destroy these Five Nights at Freddy Nightmare toys.